Okay.
So we are now recording the May 10th, 2019 Small Business Accounting Advisors. Hello, everyone.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello.
Can you see the corn on the cob?
We can see the corn on the cob. Dennis's funny video of the week.
The CD decided he was in a hurry to finish it.
电乱生猫米豆。
Oh, goodness.
哎呀，我哎呀，哎呀妈呀，我操我牙！哎呦，
That looks like field corn.
We lost a
Oh,
few.
my goodness.
Lost a few teeth there.
Well, that would be a way to do it.
Yeah.
Hillbilly corn.
Explain that to your dentist how you lost your teeth.
All righty. So I don't know how to follow that. Next up, we're going to talk to Mariette. She's got some Zoom webinar tips for us.
Yes, so I have learned tons, and I've been sharing actually if you want to follow the learning journey. I am currently giving it's a 12-day webinar series, and it's with my business with my SS. And we basically have 2 separate webinars going on concurrently, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday in English, and Tuesday and Thursday in Spanish. And so with that, I have had to learn how to create webinars, how to invite attendees to webinars, how to decline attendees from webinars that shouldn't be in the webinar because they're accepting the wrong invite. And so first of all, I want to give props to Matt and to Tina and to Chris Wise and to Seth and everybody else that has Hector Garcia to have webinars all the time. There's a lot of work involved. This is not something as easy as I thought it was. You definitely get a rhythm going, but there is a lot of structure and process behind it before you really have it going well or automated, as we always say. So just some few pro tips that I've learned along the way. The first one is spend time with a Zoom rep. I'm not kidding. It probably could be maybe one of the best technical support teams I've ever worked with in all of the applications we work with. They answer the phone within 5 minutes, and they go right into, obviously, a Zoom chat, obviously, right? That's really cool. They go into a Zoom chat with you if you want, and, you know, they just try to really go over and beyond to answer your questions live. If they don't answer your questions live, I just parked everyone. Hello. If they don't answer your questions live, they create a ticket immediately. I mean, you have that ticket in your email before you even get off the phone. And then they're constantly like adding, like trying to give you like solutions through email. And then you have your little notifications in your Zoom account of like where you are with your support issue, which is really, really cool. And I've noticed that they may even have the same people around the same hours. Because I've called, I'm not kidding, probably like in the matter of, I just started this webinar series on Monday. So I had my first few calls the week before to make sure I did all the setup. And then I've done a few calls this week. I probably called maybe 7 times.
So
and
support is awesome, is what you're saying.
Oh my gosh, like amazing. Out of those 7 times, I've talked to the same 2 guys every time, which was really cool. I mean, they call my phone, they send me a message, you know, they're constantly going over and beyond to figure out what's going on. So that support's number 1. Number 2, for webinar series, please, please, please open the webinar the meeting settings, go into your login account, and you can use Matt Bolton's videos. He's got tons of videos on how to set up Zoom webinars. I think he has a whole learning series in his QB Community Live. He has a whole learning series on how to set it up. He's done a Facebook Live with Sarah Prevost and Linda Artestani. and he's creating a training, an actual training that we can go ahead and attend to learn more. But he's got everything I've learned has all come from him. From him spending a couple hours with me on a phone call, or from me watching his videos or his Facebook Live he did with Sarah Prevost or Linda Argostani. And everything I've learned was from him initially, but I've still had to call Zoom several times about, that like little things. For instance, we have many people in our webinars, and there's been people where, since I'm doing English and Spanish concurrently, a few of them were confused and they enrolled for the wrong one. They enrolled for the English when they were supposed to be in the Spanish or vice versa. So I had to learn how to literally decline them and move them to the other webinar. So all that stuff, I just want to let you guys know, a lot of that won't ever happen until you get your butt out to have a webinar, and then all of a sudden, all these things start happening, and you need it. You need it. And so try to figure out on your own, maybe for 10, 15, 20 minutes. But if it's taking you more than 20 minutes, my number one tip is call them. Don't spend more than 20 minutes trying to figure it out. Call the support, because they will walk you through it. And but let me just tell you, it's a beautiful application. The recordings, I put them all in the cloud. They all saved automatically. I don't even have to think about it. I start the webinar, the recording starts, I end the webinar. As soon as I end the webinar, the recording pushes to the cloud. I don't even have to think about it. Within 2 hours-ish, the recording is in the cloud, because it's an over 2.5 hour webinar, so it takes a while to render. But this is the last tip I want to give you. When you record to the cloud, you have the most amazing recording options, amazing. You can record the screen by itself, so a super clean version of the shared screen if you're sharing your screen. You can record just the presenters. So even though you're sharing the screen, you can actually do another separate video that's only filming the presenters talking. So you can take that footage and use it to really do some cool images inside of your videos. You could also do, of course, the original one, which is the shared screen with the little window on the right side. So you can get between 3 to 5 versions of the recording that you can use to multi-purpose and package it later for an on-demand course or something else. So you want to go ahead and take a look at all this.
That's with the cloud recording.
Only the cloud allows you to do that. Yes.
I have a question.
Yes,
what I've been doing with my clients is that I've been recording on the desktop, and it'll be a conference or whatever, the consultation, so it's private. And so then I will upload it to a Dropbox and share the link. Now, when it's recorded to the cloud, how secure is that recording? Where does it get recorded to?
They give you the huge, first of all, the recording is in the cloud, but it's not shareable until you make it shareable. You actually have to make it shareable. But the actual cloud recording, I'm only recording to the cloud because I have all those versions that are actually getting recorded. But when I eventually have been sharing them with my students, I actually download one version, the one that I like, and then I upload that into a student portal. For instance, what Seth was showing with Kajabi, we have a student portal where they go in there and they can access materials and recordings. But you can share the link. So you actually have the actual long recording link that you could share, but I don't like that because they could reshare that link. And so I don't want them resharing the link. And so I actually give them the actual recording of the session, and they can only see it inside the portal. So they can't see the recording unless they log into their accounts and they watch it through the portal. So I do it specifically like that because I don't want them sharing our class with anybody else.
Right.
So
it does automatically save on your hard drive if you don't change the settings. And I know because I've done Zoom meetings and it automatically records. That's the default setting, and it saves on my hard drive.
You're right, and you have to have that setting though, because if you changed it by any chance, you have to say automatically record when start. So for whatever reason you were playing in the settings or something and you changed it, you need to go put it back. Yeah.
I don't have the webinar, Mariette. I just have the meetings one. And it's the meeting.
But even the meeting now, because there's, I don't know if you guys noticed, if you have the, like when you go into Zoom, if you go to check for your updates, there's all these new updates. Like even the app looks beautiful and different. So just double check your settings after you do your updates, because it's been changing a lot of your defaults. And so it may not automatically record. So just double check that, because as Linda said, you're absolutely right. As long as you have it set to automatically record, you don't even have to think about it. It automatically records locally. But if you have the web version, you also have the option to record in the cloud.
Got it.
Yeah, so anyways, it's awesome. I love it. So definitely recommend it for anyone that wants to have, you know. And the one last thing I'll say is it's great because right now our webinar has less than 50 people. I'm thinking if there was more than 50 people, I may have to stick with what I usually use, which is GoToWebinar, which is really meant for a massive amount of people. But for around 50 to 100 people, I think it still would work with Zoom. So,
Nice.
because there's just so many cool options.
Do you ever
anyway,
run into storage space options? Because I know I only have like a
Yeah, that's a
gigabyte.
really good question. Yeah, I know. I actually changed mine. I pay an extra $10 to have 100 gigabytes, because what I didn't want to happen was that that I was recording and then let's say I got to my max and it stopped recording. Let me tell you, I already got that answered. Zoom promises that even if your recording, when it pushes up to the cloud, pushes over your limit, it will not record. It will, of course, finish the recording. It'll let you know, and you always get a notification your recording's over, but then a follow-up email will come and say, you cannot record again until you increase your storage. So they will let you know if you need to go ahead and increase your storage. So I just paid an extra $10 to have 100 gigabytes, and now I'm not even worried about it.
Right. And also I want to mention that there are weekly Zoom webinars.
Yes, there are.
I think they're on Wednesdays.
One every day. There's one on Tuesday, there's one on Wednesday, and there's one on Thursday.
So Wednesdays are just the ones that I've found.
So.
That's awesome. I didn't even know that. Thank you for sharing.
Yep.
Got it.
You're only paying $10 extra a month?
Go ahead, Sarah. I'm sorry. You're very faint.
Why?
Hello.
What's wrong with it? No, I was just looking. You said you're paying $10 extra to get a
100.
100.
100 more, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Got it.
Which is cheap, which is really cheap. So next, we're going to talk to Linda and client backups.
Right. Well, what I do is whenever I'm with my clients, I always back up their QuickBooks data file. I go to single user mode and I back it up, usually on their hard drive, and then I just drag it over to secret share file, their folder. I have different folders for different clients. And so I just back things up so that for them, and they or their accountant can go get them at any time.
So you're trying to protect your client by making sure that they always have backups. And that is important. I mean, that's always been one of the things that I have tried to do with my clients. That's one of the things that I talk about whenever I go into their, like if I'm going to their facility and talk to them. I did have the experience one time. I have a client that is a lawn care guy, and he does not want me to do his monthly bookkeeping. He sees me at the end of the year to clean up his balance sheet, like make sure his loan balances are correct and he's got interest, separated out of it. So I go through this, sometimes it takes quite a while to do all of this. True. I had a session where, and I've been seeing him for many, many years. So we sat down, we talked about, are you doing backup? And he said, oh, yes, I have an external drive here. And he showed me this is what I do. And I assumed that everything was correct. After our session, after our 4-hour session, very intense, very cleaning up all kinds of stuff.
Right.
2 days later, he gives me a call and says, do you have a backup of my database? My daughter went on my computer, got a virus, and the whole hard drive was wiped out.
Yeah.
And not only did he not have the changes that we had made, and he paid me a lot of money to do, he had the whole entire year to redo before he could do his taxes.
Yeah.
So where was he backing it up? Not to an external.
Spoken to him over and over again. You have a backup.
Right. Well, he thought he was, but somehow the path got changed.
Yeah.
So when he thought he was doing an automatic backup every night, it was not.
Right.
Well, and the other thing is taking a snapshot of a QBW file
Right.
is not the same as going into QuickBooks, going to File Utilities, and making a backup. Because when you make a backup and you tell it to verify, it clears out your transaction file, your TLG file. And you can
Absolutely.
slow your machine down with a TLG file that's like huge. So
Sometimes
that's
those
why I like
backups take a
QBox.
long time.
Preach it, Sarah. Preach it. Preach it.
Preach it. That's why I like QBox. Because
Oh,
QBox is
absolutely.
like, I don't have to worry about it anymore because I know my clients are going to have at least 20 of them.
Right. Well, and the other thing that the TLG file, if it gets too big, it starts causing a lot of other data and functionality in the I can't remember what was happening with one of my clients, but every time we had that issue, it was the TLG file. And it was with one person not having access to, I think she was supposed to be printing a paycheck. And she didn't have access, even though she had admin rights. But they couldn't print the paychecks unless if the TLG file got too big.
Weird, yeah.
And that was one of the support person I talked to said that was really weird.
That is weird.
Yeah.
But all kinds of crazy stuff can happen like that.
Right.
If things start happening in your file that you don't understand, try doing the backup and see if it'll clear it up. I mean, that's an easy solution.
I tell you what, it's a good data. You're making a periodic portable file and then restoring it is good for a database too.
Yes, that's true too.
Because it compresses it really tight, and then when it restores it, it actually reindexes the whole database, and that can clean up all kinds of little trouble.
It really can.
So where'd Ernest go? He looked like he was in the middle of his car's full of flowers.
Oh, must be Mother's.
I have him.
No, somebody went to Walmart or Target or Home Depot or something.
I'm trying to unmute. There we go.
Yeah, I did go to the garden center and buy my wife a bunch of roses.
Aw, how sweet.
Very nice. Very nice.
That's right. It's a Mother's Day weekend.
I'll be
That's right.
playing them while she's off with our daughter.
Okay. Well, Brandon was on a little bit earlier and had to leave us because he was taking his wife out to dinner for their anniversary.
Oh, that's
Hey.
right. 22 years, maybe. Yep. Yeah, we're doing our dinner tonight at 6:30.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. So before we go for the day, Ernest, do you want to tell us what's happening at Scaling New Heights?
Yeah, I'm very excited about, of course, if you've been paying attention at all, it's all about the transformation, from, just kind of doing bookkeeping to more advisory role. And so one of the subtracts within the conference
is on visibility. You know, and visibility takes a lot of shapes and sizes. And one of the things that I want to say about that, I'll say a couple of things. One is that we were able to convince Chuck Vigeant, who is really the mastermind behind, you know, Cube, but more importantly that his knowledge of, you know, the database is really, really extensive. So he's going to be coming to the conference and giving a couple of speeches. But one of the things that he's going to do is he's going to be on a panel with me and a couple of other people. And we're going to be talking about all the various techniques around reporting. You know, what happens if you create an Excel spreadsheet and then, you know, somebody moves out of that job. Lots of different considerations around reporting. So, you know, I would encourage people to, particularly if they're already coming to Scaling New Heights, come on over Tuesday morning to that Power Panels session. It's just going to be an awesome opportunity to really, you know, hear from a lot of different people about things in the reporting world. The other thing that I want to share is, in addition to the Power Reporting Panel, one of the things that is new for this year, Joe is creating what they call a Genius Bar. And so he's going to have different types of people man that, if you will, booth at some point in time. I'm honored to say that they've asked me to be the sequel genius for them. And it'll be an opportunity for people to come by and ask their questions, you know, with no, you know, no obligation. So a couple of great opportunities there. I'm actually on one other panel, but those are the two that I think are really the top to talk about.
Nice, congratulations. That is Dennis's buddy, Chuck.
Yeah, I worked with them about 5 or 6 years ago on QQ. I think I did some testing on it.
No, trust me, I've done plenty of testing on it. and not necessarily intentionally.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sarah?
Yeah, that's right.
So get
Sometimes when you're working on a project, you can find little things that I think.
Yeah, we dug. You know, Sarah and I dug really deep. We're doing, you know, an accounts receivable report, and we found a couple of really deep idiosyncrasies.
Yeah, that he never even thought about. It was like, who would ever want that?
But he, you know, to his credit, he's got it. You know, he's got it in the product now. So, and that's, you know, just a testament to, you know, a developer who's continuing to build in, you know, the requests that clients are asking for the most.
And he fixed, and I mean, he came up with a version that took care of it. So that's great. Ooh,
nice. I think that was Mark.
That was Mark swinging in.
So does QCube doesn't work with QBO, does it?
No, it's
Strictly desktop.
yeah, strictly desktop. Yeah.
All righty, everyone. Is there anything else we want to talk about before we close for the day? Go ahead, Linda.
You showed the Zoom, remember, from Zoomtopia?
Oh, okay, yes, I'm sorry.
What?
Hold on, let me go to share, and I'm going to show you, oh, good luck. Here we go. Share. Now this is the email, and it says Go Communications.
Yeah.
Click on this. Now I may have to, it may open another window, so now do you see the Zoomtopia or not?
Oh yeah, Zoomtopia in San Jose.
Yes, October 15th, 16th. It's at the same convention center. And if you register by the 22nd, you save $200. And I actually love that convention center, and I have a hotel I love that's about 2 blocks from it.
You're
So,
ready to go.
As a matter of fact, I think I'll go ahead and make a reservation. I don't know whether I'm going to pay right now to go to the thing. I want to see. It doesn't tell you how much the price is before you save $200. So I want to
Well,
go.
obviously it's over 200 if you're going to save 200.
Yeah,
Right?
yes, yeah. So I would think the least it might be would be 400. You save 200, it's still 200.
Right.
500 and you save 200 and it's 300.
You
I
probably have to start to register for them to reveal that, huh?
I got it. Zoom is fun, but Zoom is one program. So
Yeah, that's a lot to invest for one.
But it's so worth it. It's so versatile.
fly there and back basically with points on my credit card. So it's like if you were going to fly from Savannah up to Nashville or something.
Yeah, nothing to it.
So that's why. So that came in the mail today. And if I go, wait a minute, can I go to back? No, that doesn't. So if I close this, am I still going to no, I'm not showing my screen anymore. Right. So, but it was an email and it was the Zoom newsletter. They send me the newsletter every month.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh, yeah, I don't get a newsletter from them. You have to look for it.
I guess it's at some point I had to, well, do you have a subscription to them?
Yes, I do. I mean,
I paid 100 and something a year, right?
Oh, I pay $15 a month, so $14.95 a month. So
I think mine's like 160 something a year.
right.
And
and I have the cheap level, so I like it. It's the easiest way for me to meet with clients.
Oh yeah. I have a new client, and they have a business consultant they're working with. He keeps flying down from Connecticut. He said, "Well, we prefer to work in person," and I'm like, "And we've been doing Zooms," and I'm like, "Is it really that different? I mean, after you meet, you know?"
Right.
No.
At least
I don't know if you want to fly on down. But
I always want my first meeting to be with them at their location because I like to see where their papers are, how organized they are, or how disorganized they are. It just gives me a feel better for working with them on Zoom. For flying from Connecticut to.
But once you have a relationship,
Yeah, right.
to me, it's just, it's like, just knock this out. Before we leave, I've been working with, Divvy. Sorry, Divvy.
Oh, okay. The credit card.
Yeah. And I'm slowly onboarding every client I have to Divvy. I love it so much. So they just received $200 million in funding.
Yes.
And they're hiring like crazy because they're growing like crazy. So they have started a new department. They just hired a young gal to be in charge of accountants.
Oh, wow.
So I'm working with her to develop a program to reach, to make an accounting type referral program. So, but I asked, I told her about our group, and would y'all be willing to do a half an hour?
Absolutely.
Whatever of a demo, because
Bring her on and meet us, accountants.
What does Divvy do?
Divvy is a corporate credit card, but it's
They shall have to come to the presentation and find out.
Ernest.
It's technically a line of credit because you have to pay it off every month.
Right.
But it is a corporate credit cards plus virtual cards, and then you you have unlimited physical cards, unlimited virtual cards, and you can control how much money is on everybody's card. Like, you could give your janitor a dead card, and if they got to run up and buy something, they just request it, and with a poke of a button, they've got money instantly on the card. You can do volunteers for a gala for a nonprofit and say, okay, you've got $1,000 to spend. You've got this. You don't have to worry about it. But
so you give your employees budgets.
Yeah, they're called budgets. And but my favorite part is the virtual cards, because, for instance, you sign up to play with an app, and sometimes they want a credit card number for your 2-week, 1-month trial. Popped into Divvy, got myself a number. put in my number, put in 0 for the budget. And today I was getting my hair done and I get this email, Divvy card declined, and doggone it, I had canceled the trial. There they were trying to hit my card.
Well, and after you talked about
I
it
love
last
that.
time, Sarah, I went and signed up for it.
Did you?
Yep, I got my approval email. They called me over a week ago and told me that I got approved for it, but I didn't get my approval email to get everything done online until Tuesday this week.
You know, it's not a fast process. I mean,
No, it's not.
they want to demo it to you. They want to know they're doing a Dun & Bradstreet background check. I mean, you're pretty much, you're getting a line of credit. And they need financials and they need all this stuff, but they are perfectly happy to work with nonprofits.
Right.
So once it's set up, I mean, I love the fact that the thing harasses the crap out of you if you don't take a picture of your receipt. Because once your employee or whoever takes a picture of the receipt, and they can put a little note, or I'm loading like the client's chart of account, you know, like small chart of accounts of choices that they could use. They're done.
So does it sync into QuickBooks?
Desktop.
Okay.
And they're almost done. We're almost done with the QBO link. And what was I supposed to say? Oh, I did a demo for a client this week. What I do is I let them. They ask for the demo. I tell them to invite me too, so I'm in on the call. And then and the client said, "Well, I just want to get rid of petty cash. We have corporate credit cards, but I just want to get rid of petty cash." And I'm thinking, yeah, that's great to get rid of petty cash. It's great to get rid of reimbursing people. People can use their own money, and then they have to do a request, and they got to do a check. And okay, but I want to get rid of the corporate credit cards. And so she said, "Well, I don't want to get rid of my corporate credit cards because I get such great cash back and points." And he goes, "You do get points." So yeah, hopefully I'll get all of that onto a Divvy card. And then they just draft out of your bank account. You can do it daily like a debit card or weekly. The faster you pay it, the higher cash back you get, apparently. And then, but at a minimum monthly. So I can say, you know, March is drafted on April 1st. And it's all just comes, you know. So you have to have the cash flow to do it. If you've got a client who really uses credit cards to float money, and you know they don't
But you really are kind of floating money a little bit. I mean,
a little bit.
monthly
You
sweep.
better have the money on the first.
If you do the monthly sweep during the month, you're not paying for that.
It's a convenience. You're paying for. I mean, that to me, that's what a credit card has always been for me. Is the convenience of, you know, swiping a card. But yeah, no, it's great. It's great. So anyway, yeah, we'll just pick a Friday, and I'll hook it up.
Well, I'll talk to her and find out when she wants to do it. Just shoot me an email.
Maybe we need to I've been helping them. I told them they need some sort of an affiliate program or referral program or something that we can use to give our clients information. And I don't think they're going to be able to do such hands-on demos for very long, because that's labor intensive.
Right.
Really labor intensive.
Right.
That every single account they get, they're investing at least a half an hour in that. I mean, so if they could come up with a program where they give us a demo, we show our clients, because when I show up with a client, it's already sold.
Right. Right.
We want to get going. We've already played with it, but anyway, I thought I'd throw that out there.
Well, let me know whenever they're ready.
Okay.
We'll be happy to have them.
Yep.
And before we go, Ernest, I have to ask you, what is it you are projecting on there, my man?
Roller skating wheels.
What wheel?
What?
Roller skating wheels.
Roller skating wheels.
And they have dirt on them.
And
He
just
likes to roller skate.
yeah, just don't cut your fingers off there.
They're not on camera anyway.
scraping
When you
dirt
use
up.
that knife, you're supposed to push away from you, not toward you.
That's right.
Inline.
Inline skates? Mark wants to know if those are inline skates. I don't know what those are. But those aren't inline skates. Those are good old-fashioned roller skates, right? Good old-fashioned roller skates. Roller skates got a brand new key.
Alrighty then, we are out of time for this week. Same time?
What? Mark wants to say something. Hold on.
Okay. Hey, Mark.
The Zoomtopia fees, the conference fee for Zoomtopia.
Oh, he just looked up the fees.
$695 until May 22nd. So that's the $200.
Yeah, $695 minus 200.
Well, no, $695 after the 200.
Oh,
So
That's
May 23rd it goes up to $895.
$895 minus
August
200.
15th it goes up to $1050.
Woo!
And
Wow.
Program?
day of the conference it goes up.
And how many days is it? 1? 2. 2 days.
What on earth?
2 days, yeah. 15th and 16th.
That must be one heck of a.
Yeah, it's excessive.
That is excessive for a.
Alrighty.
Maybe we're missing something. We're missing something.
We'll send one person and she can tell us all about it.
Yeah, put a little camera right here so you can just
we'll live stream it.
Alrighty, everybody.
All
We're
right,
done
have
for
a nice
this week.
weekend.
See you next week, same time, same place.
Bye.
Bye-bye.